Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice Wonder Woman. This is Wonder Woman from the DC Cinematic Universe. This is their third version of her, and you know what they say, third tries a charm. I pre-ordered her for the McFarlane toy store, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, age of 12 plus, DC Multiverse, Wonder Woman. Here she is in the package. We have her sword, shield, lasso of truth, collector's card, and display stand. One side of the package, Wonder Woman from Batman vs Superman. Other side, Wonder Woman. At the bottom, there's her barcode, if that helps anybody. And at the back side, here she is posed up from the film. So with no further ado, let's open her up. And of course, I did get 2 of these Wonder Woman figures. One of which to open and enjoy, and one to keep in my complete Batman and related unopened action figure collection. And I did get the entire bundle from the McFarlane toy store. Took advantage of the bundle discount, the coupon code, my platinum membership discount, and then even after shipping and taxes, it was considerably less than retail. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here she is with all the accessories laid out. We have a display stand, collector's card, her lasso, sword, and shield. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Wonder Woman from the DC Cinematic Universe, played by Gadot. I think Wonder Woman was part of the stronger aspects of the DC Cinematic Universe. She looked good, her outfit looked good, her first solo movie was absolutely fantastic. Now this is the third release of Gadot from McFarlane. They did one for 1984, one for Shazam 2, and then we have this. I thought to myself, oh, they're doing Wonder Woman from Batman vs Superman. They're going to take the best aspects of 84, the best aspects of the Shazam, put them together, upgrade it, and give us the best Wonder Woman. But honestly, in hand, I'm not impressed. It feels like it's just a 4-year-old figure they re-released. Has a lot of flaws. I really don't like the legs. That is my biggest problem with them. So let's take a look and I'll talk about those things. So, start with the face. That's actually one of the highlights. I think it looks really good. I can totally see Gal Gadot in there. Looks fantastic. Now the hair is going to really limit the articulation. It's not going to let her look up at all. One problem I have is the giant ball joints in the elbow, or the wrist rather. It just looks bad. I mean, the arm is a little bit small and awkward looking, but it's not that bad. Everything looks okay until you get to that giant ball joint that really disrupts the sculpt there. Her outfit, the paint job's fantastic, sort of shiny, metallic. I like it. She has a little place to holster the lasso. I hate the legs though. So first of all, they're in this sort of V stance. You just cannot push them together anymore. I mean, I would like to see her standing like this, but that's just not an option. And when the legs were first in the package, they were kind of like this and just looked hideous. And the little diaper area, that's how they're lined up properly. But if you pull them out, and you're not going to see it that much, but it's not really lined up, you're exposing some of the inner workings. Makes it look a little better here, but just doesn't look right. Now I do think these are the Shazam 2 legs, which were a little bit better than the 84 legs, but still leave a lot to be desired. And then the giant ball joints in the ankles look so bad. It really just ruins this gorgeous looking boot. And either mine's completely stuck or it just doesn't have an ankle tilt. So a lot of disappointing and dated factors of this figure. And a closer look at her face and head sculpt. They say third tries the charm, and bam, they finally got it right. This looks great. Looks like Wonder Woman, looks like Gal Gadot. I will compare the other ones that have major flaws later in the video, but they have a home run, at least on the head here. Now let's check out her accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's her display stand. Typical McFarlane display stand we've seen countless times before. Basically a black circle, but it's pretty effective at holding your figure up. And then we have her collector's card. As you can see, it's Wonder Woman from Batman vs Superman. Wonder Woman from Batman vs Superman. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now let's look at her weapons. She has 3 of them. First of all, we have her lasso of truth, but you only have this pre-posed little mold of it. It's going to go under her hip. She can't actually use it, but it's nice to at least have it on the figure. Then we have the shield. It's got the little bird on the front. Mine is seriously warped from the packaging, and this is after I've already used it in hot water and tried to straighten it out. I'll try to do a little better. And then we have her sword. Pretty basic looking sword. Don't really remember it being blue in the handle. I'm not saying it wasn't, just don't remember that. It's a little bit warped from the packaging as well, so I'll straighten that out with some hot water. And it is very sort of gummy and flimsy. Here's Wonder Woman holstering her lasso. Here's a look at Wonder Woman holding that sword. The sword is definitely oversized, but if you want to use the Mattel one, it's a little undersized. And then add Wonder Woman holding the shield. Now, I tried to fix it, but it's still warped pretty badly. Her arm simply slides underneath the shield. I try to sort of curve the hand in a little bit to kind of lock it in place, but it's very loose on there. Wish it was a little tighter, would allow her to make better poses with it. And then her legs, just so hard to get into a pose that looks good. This does not look good, but I wanted to have her sort of, I don't know, one leg like this and one leg sort of forward leaning back, and it just, I don't know, frustrating the whole way it works. This is probably about the best pose I'm going to get. It's really not bad. I forgot with the ankles, since tilt doesn't seem to work on mine, you can rotate them and then tilt them that way. Helps stand her up better. If you put her in like a display case like this, I guarantee that sword is going to sag over time. I can already see it happening in front of my eyes. Pretty cool figure. It does look like from the movie, but the sword, don't like it. I guess if you pose it this way, that wouldn't be as much of an issue. I don't know, but then it's so big, kind of blocks her. I don't know. I also don't like how non-tight this is her arm, so it's hard to get it to kind of do exactly what you want. Yeah, I could work a little harder on it, but just a few frustrating aspects that prevent it from being a great figure. Well, a bunch of frustrating aspects, but it's still a really good figure. Better than good. I like it. I'd say it's probably their best Wonder Woman so far, but we'll check that out in just a little bit. Now to look at all three versions of the Gadot Wonder Woman in this outfit. On the far left, we have their first release. This was from the 1984 film. In the middle is the new Batman vs Superman movie, and on the right is from Shazam 2. So the original here, I think the face sculpt was quite off. To me, it looks like Shannon Elizabeth from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I mean, literally what I see there. The outfit is really the same on all the figures. They utilize a lot of parts from her. I believe the arms, the torso, all that's the same. But they changed the legs. A lot of people said the legs look like cheese sticks. There's just no definition or detail into them. And, I mean, they're right. I think some people are a little overdramatic about it. But and then the ankles, these are done in flesh. The other ones are done in red. I see what they're doing because she has her feet sort of exposed in the little sandals she wears. But I do think it looks a little better than the other guys. So that was their first attempt. And it wasn't horrible. This was from the 1984 Wonder Woman film, and they never actually made her to go with the Zack Snyder's Justice League. But those figures came out around the same time, so that was the one for that group. And then, recently, they revisited it, and the face looks closer to Gal Gadot, but it looks a little weird. It's like a little too wide. It doesn't have the tiara. It came with a tiara that doesn't actually fit on there, and you can cut it and glue it, make it work, but it's just sort of a mess and disappointing. I believe everything here is the same. The legs have a lot more definition. Paint job's a little better. And then they just painted the whole thing red. Said, fuck it. And here is the newest one. She's a little bit paler than that one, but I think it looks good still. The paint on the outfit is just fantastic. The face sculpt is much better. The tiara, it all looks good. The hair. The legs are the same as hers, but I don't like the stance. They're all wide. We can see she can actually stand up, vanilla pose, but these ones have the sort of V shape, and you cannot really do any better than that. That frustrates me. Same thing with the legs. I actually think it looks better, but it's probably a little bit more inaccurate, as you can't see any of her flesh down there. Still, this third one is definitely the best one, but it still has its flaws. I remember when this one came out, everyone was ranting and raving how good it was. I preferred this one. I don't know. I mean, this is the best one, but it has a lot of issues. Mainly the legs, the ankles, the wrists, the dinky looking arms, the weapons, pretty much everything. But I'm being a little overdramatic and critical. It's still a solid figure, but so many small little changes would really make it a great figure. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and her accessories, let's check out her height. And she's pretty tall. from bottom to the top of her head, about 7.2, almost 7.3 inches tall, which can translate to over 18 centimeters. And for articulation, now I really wanted to take a close look at her head and neck. So the head, it can rotate side to side, but you're forced to sort of look down at the same time. She can look fully straight, so she's not necessarily looking down, but she can't look up at all. I'm going to use the torso maybe a tiny bit. Actually, when you push the torso out of the back, she's looking pretty straight. So I guess in a vanilla pose, she's looking down just a tiniest bit, but it's not bad. You can get the hair over it, but what's the point? I mean, you don't want to do that. So really, the range of motion is pretty much like this. You don't really get tilt because the hair is going to prevent that, and you can't look up. Shoulders, ball joint, goes out about 90 degrees, up, down, around. She does have that butterfly ring between the shoulder and chest area. Increase the range of motion, but it really mainly just covers the giant gap that would be there. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows. Her wrist can rotate. It's hinged. Torso's got a ball joint, rotate around, forward and back. Pretty nice range of motion there. Another one in her waist. That one's much tighter. Rotate around, forward and back. So, moves pretty nicely there. Legs, complete as splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation, it's minimal. Legs go forward about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees. Don't go back that far. The armor's a little bit bulky. And then the ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. It does not have tilt rock, which almost all the McFarlane figures do. But you can rotate the ball joint and then be able to sort of tilt it on your own. In addition to that, she has toe articulation. On board the crashed Kryptonian vessel, Lex Luthor is making this sort of hybrid clone of General Zod, making his own version of Doomsday, his own Kryptonian monster. He's bragging to Superman about his plans. God meets man meets God, man becomes God, blah, 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 whatever. At this point, Doomsday is birthed. First thing he does is kill everything in sight. First thing he sees is Lex Luthor. Superman, being the selfless character that he is, even after Lex Luthor tried to kill his mom, immediately jumps between them and saves Lex Luthor's life, starting this big, epic battle between Superman and Doomsday. Superman and Doomsday, they fight, and they fight, and they fight in the streets of Metropolis, causing destruction and havoc all around. Doomsday seems to be invincible. In fact, he seems to be getting stronger, everything they're throwing at him. Superman and Doomsday take the fight up into space. The US military decides to nuke them both. Superman ends up looking dead, deathly and decrepit like a zombie. After Superman is out of the equation, Batman takes it upon himself to try to take out Doomsday, brings in the Batwing, lures Doomsday all the way back to Metropolis, where he knows the Kryptonite Spear is. He knows there's a harbor that's abandoned, and there will be few casualties. He lures Doomsday all the way back, and then Doomsday uses heat vision, takes out the Batwing, and right when he's about to kill Batman, Wonder Woman jumps in and saves the day. Superman rejoins the fight. They meet up. The Trinity, finally. Batman looks at Superman and says, "Is she with you?" Superman replies, "I thought she was with you." Superman realizes what he has to do. He has to take the Kryptonite Spear and use it to kill Doomsday. But of course, Superman is vulnerable to Kryptonite as well, so it weakens him just being around it. Here's a look at Superman stabbing Doomsday with that Kryptonite Spear. Unfortunately, as we all know, this leads to Superman's untimely demise and death. Now stick around. Next is some other action figures, starting off with some other Wonder Woman figures. Here are all the McFarlane DC Cinematic Universe Gal Gadot Wonder Woman figures that they've made. We have two of them from 1984. Those are the two on the left and right. The armored one, pretty cool. Then we have the one from Shazam 2, and one from Batman vs Superman. If they really wanted to, they could give us one from the Flash movie. They could give us one from Zack Snyder's Justice League and the regular version of Justice League, if they really wanted to milk it. And hell, I guess from the first Wonder Woman film as well. Personally, I would like to get a Cheetah and Steve Trevor from the Wonder Woman films. Here she is, next to the Last Night on Earth Wonder Woman. They made two variations of her. Then, next to the Death Metal Wonder Woman, and she shares the same sculpt as the Anti-Crisis Wonder Woman. And now, with the Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman, they also made 2 of her. Here she is, next to the Todd McFarlane designed Wonder Woman. They also made 2 variants of her. Then, next to the Flashpoint Wonder Woman, and they only made 1 version of her, but they used the exact same body for the Shiny Knight, who has nothing to do with Wonder Woman whatsoever. And now, with the Collector's Edition Wonder Woman, they made 2 versions of her, and she is, I'd say, by far McFarlane's best Wonder Woman to date. Here are all of the different McFarlane DC Multiverse Wonder Woman figures. There are a total of 15 of them. There's not really a lot on the horizon for Wonder Woman figures. I've seen rumors of a black and white accent, Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, which I assume will be the Collector's Edition. But honestly, there's so many more they can make. A New 52 version, classic version, Linda Carter version. Here she is, next to a bendy Wonder Woman figure by Noble Toys. Then, with my DC Direct Wonder Woman figures. And now, with all of my Mattel Wonder Woman figures. Here are all the different Wonder Woman figures I have in my collection. By McFarlane, Mattel, Noble Toys, and DC Direct. Here are all of my different DC Cinematic Universe Wonder Woman figures. Here she is, next to McFarlane's Donna Troy. Donna Troy used to be Wonder Girl. And here she is, next to Mattel's Cassie Wonder Girl. Here's Wonder Woman, next to the rest of McFarlane's Batman vs Superman figures. We have this entire wave, which was Wonder Woman, Armored Batman, and Nightmare Batman. There are 2 Platinum Chase variants in this wave, which is a Platinum of the Armored Batman, and a Platinum Superman sort of false god statue. Then we have the 2-pack Superman Doomsday. And the far left, we have the single Batfleck that came out, 6 months ago. Now there are 4 figures I still need to complete the offerings of Batman vs Superman, which are the 2 Platinums I mentioned, and then there's also a Walmart and McFarlane exclusive 2-pack with Nightmare Batman and Armored Batman. There are still plenty more things they could offer from Batman vs Superman. Lex Luthor, different version of Doomsday, Lois Lane. I'd welcome any of it. Here's how she fits in with the rest of the Justice League heroes. I would say Aquaman is still too big, and Batfleck still too short. Now let's check her out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here she is, next to the Walmart and McFarlane exclusive Armored Darkseid with Throne. Here's Wonder Woman, with Series 8 of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Simon Baz Green Lantern, Legion of Superheroes Lightning Lad, Outsiders Geoforce, and Crime Syndicate Grid. I currently have 8 of the 12 figures in this wave. Still need to locate both versions of Mr. Terrific and Chris Reeves Superman. And here she is, next to some McFarlane Toy Store exclusives. We have the Nightmare Edition of the Vampire Batman, and both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Jonah Hex. Then, with the Amazon exclusive Arkham City Detective Mode Batman vs Solomon Grundy 2-pack. And now, with the 3rd digital wave, Silver Age Joker and Earth 2 Robin. There are actually 2 Platinum Chase variants in this wave. There's a Black Tux version of Joker, and the Speed Force Flash. I'm on the hunt for both those. They're currently popping up at Walmarts and GameStops around the country. If anybody has a lead on where I can get one for a reasonable price, or could possibly help me out, please drop me a line in the comments below. It is much appreciated. Here's Wonder Woman, next to the Shazam and Freddie Freeman 2-pack. This was also an Amazon exclusive. And here she is, with the Walmart exclusive Hal Jordan Green Lantern and Action Comics Superman. Then, with the Arkham Asylum Glow-in-the-Dark Killer Croc, who is also an Amazon exclusive. And now, with McFarlane's latest Jokerized offerings, Hush, Harley Quinn, and the Last Sign on Earth Batman. And finally, with a couple of recent Target exclusive figures, Sinestro in Parallax Armor, and Commander Steel. Now let's check her out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how she fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix her with. Since she's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check her out with some of her McFarlane Toys brothers and sisters. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale, and now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Wonder Woman, next to a piece of bread. And here she is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a good Wonder Woman figure, but it's definitely not a great Wonder Woman figure. And it could have been. This is definitely the best of the 3 different versions of Wonder Woman in this particular outfit. My complaints, as I've said numerous times throughout the video, the arms are a little scrawny, the hair prevents the head from moving nearly as much as you want it to, the lasso doesn't stay as firmly onto the holster as I'd like. I wish that thing was just a little bit tighter. The arms are a little bit thin and awkward. The wrist joints are a little bit too large and disrupts the sculpt. And then her legs. While I'll admit, they tried to improve the legs with the Shazam 2 Wonder Woman, but they made the stance horrible. She has this sort of V shape, and nobody really stands like that. You can't push them in all the way. Then you have the ball joints in her ankles, which are, number 1, hideous. Number 2, they don't tilt, and it can be done if you sort of move them around and adjust them, and then you can sort of tilt the ankles, but it's a pain in the ass, and almost no other McFarlane figures require you to do that. Her accessories, they're pretty nice, but the shield is bent pretty bad from the package, and I've tried twice to fix it, and I fixed it a little bit, but it's not exactly where I want it to look like. And then her sword, it's really gummy and really oversized. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give her a 6.5 out of 10, and maybe I'm giving her too high of a rating. I really wanted to give her like an 8, but she just doesn't deserve it. There was really very little effort put into this figure. The head sculpt and face is really the only new thing, and it does look good, but they took parts from a figure that was released at least 4 years ago, and they're still using them today. They've improved a lot of these things in the line overall, so this figure feels like a step back. Like I said, it's the best one of these 3, but still leaves a lot to be desired. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.